War Eagle War Rapport family, I'm your host C-Dub, and tonight we have plenty to discuss concerning Auburn football. Jay Fair commits to Auburn. So we have plenty to discuss as it pertains to football recruiting and as well as some news surrounding college football. So please be sure to tune in, get your weight up, and let's get ready to enter the war room.
You are now listening to the War Rapport. Wednesday night War Room. Brought to you by AuburnSports.com. Ike Jones. B. Will. C. Doe. Mike G. Let's go!
War Eagle, everyone. Welcome to the latest and greatest Wednesday night War Room, brought to you and all of you in partnership by AuburnSports.com. Guys, please be sure to check them out for your latest info as it pertains to recruiting news as well as other news surrounding Auburn athletics. Guys, also please be sure to share this video using the War Rapport and hashtag get your weight up. Mike G, what else we got, brother, coming along the pipeline?
Oh, man, listen, as Caesar mentioned, this War Room is brought to you by AuburnSports.com. That's our guy, JG, over there of the bunker of Auburn Sports, helping us get the good gospel out to everybody. So we appreciate him. But listen, other than that, becoming insider, we are massively excited about all the things that are going to happen this season for our insiders. And one of those things is ticket giveaway to the Akron game. If you want to go see Auburn beat down on the Zips, become an insider, because you will get 3 free entries into a drawing to win 2 tickets to that game. So the tickets are in a really good location. I looked at the seats. You should have a really good time if you win those tickets. But we are super happy to be able to do this. So shout out to everybody who retweeted the weekend tailgate, because you got an extra entry into this giveaway. But other than that, our supporters and our insiders get automatic entries up to 3 just for being a member of our channel. So we appreciate everybody who does that. Our merch store is live. You can get your War Rapport merch. I see Caesar's got the Get Your Weight Up shirt on. I got a dry fit War Rapport shirt. I worked out in this today. It feels amazing. Feels like butter. So go to the merch store and get you some butter. We are officially partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. I've been thanking everybody, literally every broadcast. Thank you to everybody who has sent well wishes for my dog, Abby. I believe we have turned a corner and she is doing well. So we got a few more health things to work out, but don't know what I'd do without my rescue. Don't know what Ike would do without his rescue. You can help us help other people find this joy and help us help the Lee County Humane Society find dogs like Abby and Milo good homes. They'll be loved. So you can find this link in the about section of our YouTube channel. Go over there, donate 50 cents on every dollar goes toward helping the Lee County Humane Society with their mission. We are giving away a mug tonight. So hashtag get your weight up. Check your spelling. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. We'll enter you into that drawing. You guys are so used to just putting that into the comments that there's always a bunch of entries as soon as we start this. So if you didn't hear, if you don't know, you know now. Hashtag get your weight up in the comments. We're going to draw and send somebody a War Rapport mug at the hour mark near the end of the broadcast. That's what we got.
Shout out to Chris K. He just received his Watch the Film t-shirt. Listen, if you're on social media, man, preferably if you're IG, Facebook, Twitter, post something with your shirt, wearing your shirt, and at us, man. We definitely want to see that. People have been sending us pictures of their shirts, of their apparel, and they're loving it. So, man, do the same, man. So, yes, anyone else who gets one, definitely add us when you post. wearing your War Rapport gear, we definitely want to see that. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Amazing.
So Mike G finally got the braces off, and he can't stop smiling. And it's pretty freaking annoying, but I get it. B, you doing good, bro?
Yeah, we need to go ahead and get this Colgate sponsorship going.
Listen, it feels nice to just be able to talk. I've been trying to talk around them for 18 months, but it was great is I decided to get braces because my company has bomb dental insurance. And then I was a little self-conscious because I talked to people all day for my job about having braces on. And then the world put on masks for a year and a half. So nobody saw them anyway, but you guys. And now that we don't have to wear masks anymore, my braces are off. So the timing was perfect. It was amazing.
Yeah, I really feel like we should have talked about you more being a grown man with braces, but it is what it is.
It's never too late. It's never too late to get that perfect smile.
Well, listen, man, let's get into, we have recruiting news to discuss, but man, let's talk about what the whole college football world has been talking about today. And it's not SEC Media Days, it's what basically came out during SEC Media Days. And that's the word that Texas and Oklahoma allegedly, reportedly, according to the Houston Chronicle. I cannot pronounce the guy's last name, but a guy at the Houston Chronicle basically reported that these two programs have inquired about potentially joining the SEC. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just give you my doubts before I pass the rock to either one of you guys. There's a whole bunch of hurdles that's going to have to be cleared before this becomes a reality. Now, I just want to know who wants for. I can pick somebody, but
I'm going first on this.
Mike's chomping at the bit. Okay, what are your thoughts on this breaking story that came out today?
Okay, so just to refresh everybody's memory, it was Texas that almost ended the Big 12 when Texas A&M and Missouri came over. Way back when? What was it, 2014 that they came over, B? I think it was 14 or 13 they came over, right?
No, it was 12. It was 12. It was
12? Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. So, Texas arrogance almost destroyed that conference. Now, they went out, and the conference let them get the Longhorn Network, which I don't know how this is going to work because Mike's Live is... I'm sorry, who's our commissioner? What's his name? Greg Sankey. Sankey is not going to let them bring the Longhorn Network to the SEC. They can't do it. Right? Because we have a TV revenue sharing. Yeah, we have
number one
TV revenue sharing model that does not fit in. None of our university presidents or coaches or athletic directors are going to stand for that. It is an unfair recruiting advantage to the rest of the members of your conference to have your own television deal.
Right.
You don't bring anything to the conference when you do that. That's in Texas A&M, what they came over, they were like, listen, we're going to go to the SEC and get that SEC revenue sharing money, and help build our program up. I think that they came out better rather than staying in the Big 12 in the shadow of all that Texas, arrogance.
Right.
So I have that problem. Now, again, reminding everybody, they tried to take that foolishness to the Pac, and the Pac told them to get on somewhere with that. But there were some stipulations. Texas will not go anywhere without Oklahoma. Oklahoma will not go anywhere without Oklahoma State. That was a huge problem with them joining the Pac as well. So now if the rules have changed between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, I'd love to hear it. But the last time
representative, someone spoke on behalf of Oklahoma State, and they were not happy here with the news of this.
Yeah. All right. Listen, I mean, this thing is tangled up in so much, right? So they signed years ago. I think they signed like a 10-year, $300 million deal with ESPN for the Longhorn Network.
When did that start?
I don't know. The deal runs through 2031 though.
It was a big. It was part of what made Texas A&M say, "The hell with y'all, I'm out.
We out."
Right. So I just feel like there are a ton of hurdles. If I mean, listen, the SEC has their own deal with ESPN, right? I'd have to imagine that the first step one is you got to get rid of the Longhorn Network. That's no more.
I think what would be working in their favor is that because the ESPN would own all rights to the SEC, that somehow that could be renegotiated or restructured. Somehow they could work through. But the problem with that, though, is that Fox Sports or Fox still holds claim to some of the Big 12. They have some of their games on Fox.
Yeah, and I want to watch SEC games on Fox. Yeah, let's go ahead and just kibosh that, right?
Fair enough. But I'm pretty sure they would have something to say about this, right? You don't want to have rights to a conference that no longer has two of the best teams in your conference leaving.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Yeah, I don't know how this works, honestly. And you know what? I don't know what the SEC stands to gain from it, really.
Right.
Somebody tell me, what do we really stand to gain from taking those two headaches on? Then you have to realign your whole conference. Like, I personally don't want to see this. I hope this idea dies where it started. Go join some other conference. Please. B.
I didn't do what you said my thing for.
I was waiting your thoughts.
Mike's done. He's done. Yeah. How do you feel about this? Because I was minding my own business, getting ready to talk about Jay Fair, and then Brian mentions this to us. So I'm pretty sure you have some thoughts. What are your thoughts, Brian?
Y'all forgive me. If you were going in and out, Jay, my bad. Y'all forgive me. My connection's acting up a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get out and get back in if I get lost. All right. I like this.
All right.
I like chaos, man. It's madness because this is an admission that the SEC is the place to be. That's it. You won't in on the game because you let Texas say, hey, it's okay for you to say, I think I'm worth more than everybody else. I'm going to do my own thing, which is what Notre Dame did. Okay. And it didn't work out. Alabama, if anybody was going to have the clout to do what Texas thought they were going to do or what Notre Dame did 30 years ago now, it would be Bama right now, right? Like, it would 4 championships in, Saban would have been like, hey, let's get out of here. We can print our own money. But they stayed in-house. You are better than Alabama. Texas hasn't won that many national championships. Oklahoma hasn't either. For all their hype with QBs and what Bob Stoops did a long time ago, they hadn't done anything in a really, really long time. They're making playoffs, but I'm not really giving a whole bunch of credit to just making playoffs because if you get in there and get thumped or you get in there and you can't get past the first game, then you would kind of just, what everybody says a 12-team playoff was going to be. And Oklahoma has been that in both BCS national championship games and the playoffs since they got beat up by USC when we should have been in there.
Right.
That's it. Really, since they lost to, was it LSU that year they lost to?
Wait, who?
For Saban's first championship at LSU? Did they
he beat Oklahoma. He beat
Oklahoma. They haven't been
Florida beat Oklahoma. I think that year that they was like went on a tear with
2008. 2008.
So Oklahoma
Georgia beat Oklahoma.
A consistent bridesmaid
in the playoff.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oklahoma is the shining jewel in the crown that is the Big 12, and they have been no better than a bridesmaid on the big stage. How is that going to change for them anytime soon? You're getting the pick of the litter in a very large swath of your conference area. So they're getting top tier players. They are there was a recruit I saw that recruited to them this week, and they were saying this is it. Oklahoma is QBU. And it's hard to argue with that. I can't argue with that. You're getting the best guy at the most important position every cycle, and the best you can do is semifinal.
Yeah.
Shout out to Philip Coleman. he basically said Boise State beat Oklahoma. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's facts. That's facts.
So if that's their ceiling, and Texas they thought they were back. Texas was not back, obviously. to me, this is them saying, all right, listen, maybe we aren't as big a deal as we thought. Let's leave these other teams to kind of fend for themselves because we think we're football royalty. So what better place for us than to get in where there's actual football royalty and fight it out? Because the benefit of being in the SEC, even if you aren't top dog, and it's the reason I never wanted to go to the East as for us, is all we have to do is make it through. You don't have to go through the what if. Well, look at their schedule. If you beat A&M, Bama, LSU, Georgia, who's going to argue with you about who belonged where? Nobody. Right. Those home games have to be worth so much money to an OU. Bama coming to OU, Bama coming to Texas, man, come on. That's big money. And all the concerns about the TV contracts, do you know how many more seats in houses and how many accounts now subscribe to the SEC network in Texas? Not just the corner of the state that A&M had carved out. UT is the bigger market. They are the bigger school. You telling me you can get all those households on the SEC network? I think they fold the Longhorn network in right now. If somebody gave it okay. What, you want this? Fine. We're going to the SEC. Let's get that SEC money. All those houses in Oklahoma and Texas and Nebraska, there's plenty of Oklahoma fans all over the central United States. That money would come flowing in. 7 out of the 12 playoff spots would be SEC teams, and everybody would be rolling in it. I don't know how this is a bad thing, honestly. If it's going to be, oh, man, that's too many games. We just had an all SEC schedule. How is that bad for us? It's harder to get out of the SEC and win it, but, man, it's a monumental accomplishment at that point. Oh, I love it. I love the idea of that. I love it.
So one person hates it. One person loves it.
Listen, I just want to say,
sounds like a great show. What you got, Mike?
Yeah, I just want to say that was a beautiful soliloquy. Like, everything he said is absolutely correct, but I still hate it. because I hate those two schools. I hate those two schools. Keep that foolishness over there where it's at. Like, I mean, I'm not arguing with you, B. I agree with it. All the money that it brings in financially, there's a sense that it makes. Right. But we already rich. We don't need it. So you know what I mean?
That's not how rich people think.
Yeah. You know what it's like? It's like that. It's like that piece of cake sitting on the counter, right? And you had dinner and you had appetizers and you're not hungry, but it's there, so you eat it anyway. You don't need dessert. I'm going to eat it anyway, right before bed.
Every night this week,
right? So. I don't know. That's what they are. They're the dessert on the table that, you can eat or you cannot eat, but either way, your life is going to be fine. I would just rather not put on the extra weight eating the cake right before bed. And like, I don't know. I don't like it, but there's some, they cannot come as is, which is my point. Right. So to Brian's point, there's going to have to be some restructuring of current deals for it to work within our model. Major restructuring. It's not going to be a small thing. A lot of pride will be swallowed, and then after you join the conference, a lot of humility will be dealt out on a silver platter, week after week.
And I like it.
Right. So
I love that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think Oklahoma does well in the SEC though. Right. I think they bring a different kind of flavor. I mean, listen, they know what they're doing with quarterbacks. I don't think that's in question. If you bring who's Lincoln Riley in that attack, I think that
it comes back.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting deal in the SEC, and you bring 2 of the marquee coaches in college football back to the conference. That's really what makes our conference so much better. We hire the best coaches.
Yeah.
And week in and week out, it's a battle because you have the best minds in college football trying to mentally outduel each other.
I want to point out a comment by Wesley. Shouts out to you, man. Good to have you on watching live with us. He mentioned, with the Longhorn Network on verge of collapse, Texas needs to do something. Now, I didn't know this.
Is it?
I didn't know that they were struggling.
Listen, I love
y'all. That's news to me.
That brings a smile to my face.
That makes you happy.
Yes,
that's news to me. But that if that's true, then that makes sense because I'm thinking, who wants that headache? Unless Texas thinks it's a headache and wants out of it.
That network was stupid to begin with, man.
Whose idea was it that just one college could have a network
in a conference
with enough content to fill a full schedule? That was nonsense.
Yeah, listen, when you feeling yourself like Texas was, I mean,
they won,
and you have a beta conference in the Big 12 who will let them do that.
I'm telling you, and then they found out, and then Texas A&M said, "I'm taking my ball, I'm going to the SEC." The hell with that.
Now, I see why they would hate it. I see why A&M would hate it, and why Missouri would hate it, because that's in their footprint. And right now, it means something to them to say, "Yeah, listen, Texas, Oklahoma, you want to play Bama every year? You want to play Georgia? You want to play LSU? You want to play Auburn?" NFL scouts are watching these SEC battles. Big 12, not so much. They're not taking you seriously. They're taking you seriously.
You don't have to leave your home state.
Right. So if I'm Texas A&M, I would love to know what they think about this.
Oh, they hate it.
Yeah, can we get
they don't like it.
Texas A&M channel on here just to talk about that? All right, I want to hear their content creators talk about whether they like this deal or not. Because if I were Texas A&M, I was like, listen, man, I paid a lot of money to leave y'all. They had to pay a penalty to leave the Big 12, if I recall correctly. They didn't get off scotch-free. Yeah, it was not a whole thing where we could just leave. They had contractual obligations that they broke when it came to the SEC, and they had to pay a major penalty to the conference.
Well, it was out of left field. It was out of left field. It was just like, you know what, screw it. I'll do whatever it takes, because once they got their own network, Texas got their own network, Longhorn Network, A&M was like, well, get me out of here.
Yeah, listen, the two TV models that work in college football is the SEC network, and the Big Ten actually has a more lucrative deal than the SEC for their member schools. Right?
Who are they with? Is Big Ten with Fox?
Yeah, the Big Ten network is very, very profitable. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm telling you, their model works as well too. So when it was Nebraska and Colorado that came over,
Nebraska came over, and I think they picked up Rutgers.
Pac-12. Colorado went to the Pac-12, right? So Nebraska came over.
They picked up Rutgers and Nebraska.
Right. Those teams instantly benefited from that jump, because it doesn't matter whether you're good or not, right? When you have an equal revenue sharing model, it helps the schools at the bottom get that money to elevate their programs. You know, so like Vandy's just along for the ride.
Yeah.
But they're sharing in all this TV money and all this bowl game money. And for a lot of people who don't understand how the bowl game model works is that when you make a bowl game, right, and you bring in bowl money, that money does not go to your school.
Right.
It goes into a pot that is then evenly distributed out to all the member institutions.
Right.
So when Bama makes the national title game and Georgia makes the playoff, that's like $100 million that gets brought in for the conference, and then distributed out to everybody.
If you get two schools in there, it's huge.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So you know when people would make fun of why we chant SEC around bowl time, how do you root for a conference? I don't understand. You're rooting for your rivals. And people would say that. I'm like, listen, man, when SEC teams make bowl games, that's more money coming in for the conference, and your school benefits from it.
Right.
Right. So we want as many SEC teams to make bowl games as possible. And then we want them to win it so they get the respect going into the next year for the top tier bowls.
Yeah.
They have SEC tie-ins. But, you know, you bring Oklahoma and Texas over. I'd be shocked if just those two came over, though. I'm telling you, there's a lot of politics out there in the Southwest that are going to be really, really difficult to unravel for this deal to happen with just those two schools. Right? Yeah. Because Oklahoma State is not going to stay in a floundering Big 12.
Right.
If they divorce from Oklahoma, they're not going to stay. I'm telling you, they're going to have to find another home.
They're not.
The Big 12, this ends the Big 12, as a matter of fact. I'm telling you, the Big 12 is not a conference. Yeah. The conference falls apart, and then everybody's going to have to find a new home.
Because I don't even know who you pull from to even make that conference.
They would have to pull from the ACC and Conference USA. Mm-hmm. I think Memphis is a good pickup. They're decent. They are a 8 to 10 win team for their conference.
right
in their conference, which they play a couple big people, so they're going to have a couple losses. I'd say the same for Cincinnati. Now that Luke Fickell is there, but if he's not there, then I don't think they're consistently good. So maybe not them.
Wait,
there are a couple.
Wait, don't we have a graphic about how conference?
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Boise in the Big 12. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I agree.
They wouldn't be happy about it. I mean, again, if I'm the Big 12, or I wouldn't picking up Boise after losing Oklahoma. It feels like a consolation prize. It does.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's a consolation prize. There's nothing to jump up and down about, but it saves your conference. It will save your conference. I'm thinking it will. Right.
Boise's big enough to do some work for you. And I'm thinking, like, what's the other school that they do great, but they're
I see some people saying BYU, SMU. See, that's who they be picking up. That's who they be picking up. I mean, it's again, if I'm Oklahoma State, I'm shopping.
North Dakota State.
No, man. Yeah, but again, I don't know how the Big 12 would survive them walking away.
Right.
Like, to me, it's just, I just don't think that's nothing to get excited about. It really isn't.
Right.
It'll be the end. But let's have some fun with this. All right. Now that we've talked about how unrealistic this is and how ugly it would be for other people who would suffer, let's talk about how we would benefit. What would, and shout out to Corey Dub, was like, what would we call the conference? I would call it the Big 3 Force, because that's how much of the power of college football is in our conference. Who else is out there outside of Ohio State and Clemson that would really make noise other than the SEC if that were to happen?
Yeah, and I don't want to hear nobody
other than that school that has no allegiance to anyone.
I don't want to hear nobody complaining that 6 teams from the SEC makes the playoff every year. None. Zero complaining. They let this happen, right? Like, just no complaining about that, because it's you already know there's going to be complaints about 3 teams making a 12-team playoff.
Well, let's have fun with this game. Let's talk about what would the SEC look like, because we know, and the way it's formed, it will be some major restructuring, right, for our conference if these 2 programs came over. So what would the new SEC look like? Well, we have an idea. And I saw other people talking about it already.
Yeah.
But this is the War Rapport's idea of what this could look like should it come into fruition. Okay?
All right.
Y'all ready for it?
Yeah, I'll see it.
So you have a new SEC West here. Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU, Arkansas, and Missouri moves over to the West from the East. So what does that mean? Bama and Auburn are the 2 new additions to the SEC East. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah. So while we're looking at
go ahead, Mike. Let's. We already know you're already against this already. So how much this would be them spiking the football in your face. So what?
I ain't gonna lie, fellas. Listen, the West looks tough. The East got the better draw, if you ask me. And we had to stay in there. You're talking about the bottom part of the West is heads and tails better than the bottom part of the East in this bracket. So who do I put at the bottom? Vandy, Tennessee, South Carolina, Kentucky is the bottom of the SEC East.
Right.
The bottom of the West, Arkansas, Mississippi State, LSU, Mizzou. That's a much better bottom half than what's in the East currently. Now,
no, wait. But the bottom half, the bottom of the SEC West would be Mizzou, Arkansas, Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Right. So
you said LSU, but they're not in the bottom half.
Did I say I didn't mean LSU? I didn't mean LSU if I said that, right? Yeah. So like, I'm like, man, this would make for a really, really interesting. I could see some really exciting SEC championship games coming out of this schedule, right? I do kind of. There's a part of me that longs for an Alabama-Auburn SEC championship game, and that's the one thing that I hate about this, right? Being able to play them possibly a second time for all the marbles, because in a conference like this, despite what happens, does the playoff after Bama won a national title without winning the SEC, it kind of watered down the SEC championship a little to me. Being an SEC champion, you can not win the conference and then still win a national title. I think that this brings that title game, surviving all that, and then having to play one of these teams brings some prominence back. I don't think we lost a lot. That's not what I'm saying, but I think it brings some prominence back to the SEC championship game. So you're right, man. Georgia versus Oklahoma SEC championship game. Both those teams are making a 12-team playoff.
Yeah,
right.
This move would guarantee that the SEC has a minimum of 3 teams in the playoff every single year.
Yep.
Right? The winner, the runner-up, and then somebody else, and possibly a 4th team.
So again, if you're the SEC, you want this to happen. You're making a case.
You're
making a case for this to happen.
Listen, I'm telling you, I agree with everything Brian said about why it makes sense. I just hate it because I hate those schools and I want them to stay on their side of the yard. This is it. No logic behind it. This is just pure disdain for Oklahoma, for Texas first and foremost. I don't really have that big a problem with Oklahoma, other than their package deal with Texas.
Right.
Okay. I could stomach Oklahoma, but I know Texas is coming with them, so now I got to hate them too. Right. But I think this alignment, again, if you're talking about, besides having Bama on our side of the conference, this alignment makes a lot of sense. If you wanted to even this out a little bit, you maybe throw Ole Miss to the east and Auburn to the west. I don't know, man. This is tough. This is tough to look at.
What do you think this does for? What would be the impact of teams that play? 2 questions. What's the impact of cross-division rivals?
Perfect. Okay, listen. First, well, let me back up for a second and just say that. Okay, so you got to play 6 other games in your division.
I don't even think that's a thing anymore.
Right. So you're going to play 6 SEC games within your division, and then you got 4 more games you have to play. If you're playing in this conference, there is zero incentive to schedule a tough non-conference game at any point during the year.
Okay, so my question, and it's going to go to you, B. Will.
All right.
If you're South Carolina, what happens to Clemson? If you're Florida, what happens to Florida State, Miami? If you're Oklahoma, what happens to Oklahoma State? Clearly, they probably won't be playing each other. But what happens to those teams who have major rivalries outside of this conference, knowing that you have a gauntlet of a regular season to play?
Well, the first thing that happens is we're going to go to 9 games automatically. 9 SEC games, at least. 9 SEC games. Because there's going to be 7 other people in your division. You got to play all of them. 2 people from the other side. Based on rivalries, ours would likely be probably LSU, and then the other one rotates. And we're going to keep the current model where you have a constant rival from the other division and then a rotating opponent. What happens to Oklahoma State? So Louisville and Kentucky do this thing where they play each other every year. They're not in conference. They just schedule them every year, just the way Florida plays Florida State. Right. So what it means is for those people, they're going to have 9 SEC games and then 1 Power 5 game at least. 10 of their 12 games are quality opponents. Well, everybody in the SEC is a quality opponent, but y'all know what I mean. So you got room for 2 cupcakes on that schedule instead of 3 and maybe 4. 2. And that's a lot tougher proposition. I mean, it's like Mike said, you have no incentive to go play anybody that can actually beat you for those 2 games. None.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
Tennessee,
like you're taking
Georgia,
your cupcakes. You're taking your cupcakes and you're sticking with them every year. Listen, I'm playing Georgia State, Akron, Ohio, anybody, literally nobody tough for those games with absolutely no conscience, no remorse about scheduling in this schedule. Right. So, if we're going to play a 12-game schedule, this is tough. And then think about, then you have an SEC championship game if you make it through all this. And then potentially 3 or 4 playoff games. That's a lot of football.
It is.
That's a lot of football for college kids. So,
are you to your question, B? Are you hurting your conference by playing more conference games than other conferences?
No. I mean, the reason you're not is because we get the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
When it comes to seeding now, like by a long shot. So
Facts.
now you don't even have to be the SEC runner-up. You can be the 3rd or 4th best team. Like, I don't know. They did beat Oklahoma, though. Georgia lost 3 games, but they beat Oklahoma at Oklahoma. We got to get them in there for that because Oklahoma won the conference. And now they're in there. Now you're 4th best team. You say it'll be 3. I say 4 at least. 4 teams are in, unless it's just a terrible year and some weird stuff happens, like a whole bunch of QB injuries or something like that. But I don't think this hurts you because you're going to get the benefit of the doubt, much like we did for a while during that run between 2005 right after Texas won the national championship. So 2006 to really 2013.
Right.
The SEC just got the benefit of the doubt every time.
Yeah.
And I think that keeps happening no matter what. So LSU lost 2 games. It doesn't matter. Let's put them again in there against Ohio State. LSU won. Florida lost. Ohio State's undefeated. Now let's put them in there. Or Oklahoma's undefeated. Let's put them in there. And Florida won. Every time you're going to say, yeah, but look who they had to play. And you're going to put the SEC teams ahead of the other teams in the playoff. Now, somebody was saying maybe you don't have to win the SEC anymore. And the only way that you incentivize still playing to win the SEC championship is if that gets you higher seeding, and higher seeding gets you either a rest or a home game for increased revenue.
Right.
That's the only way you do it. Because like Mike just explained, everybody in the conference is getting the playoff money. So it doesn't help you. Alabama's making the game. We're at home watching, but we're making money because they're in the game.
Right.
But if you get a home game, SEC doesn't get ticket sales. SEC doesn't get food sales and beverage sales and merchandise sales. The city gets all that. The school gets all that. So that's your incentive. It's got to be a home game to incentivize winning the conference.
Ooh, man.
Get that bread back.
Oh, man. Can you imagine that? Auburn hosting a playoff game in Auburn. I love that idea. Now, again, so you keep there's no tanking at the end of the season because we're going to make it anyway. Right? Like, because when you start talking about these super conferences and 12-team playoffs, there are some, the ultimate prize is a national title, but that's how you put some emphasis on why that SEC championship matters. If it means a first round bye, like you said, B, or you get to host home field advantage until the national title game, which is played on a neutral site.
Yeah.
Or at least until the semifinals. And if you right now, and if you snuck in as that 12th team, your punishment is you got to go to Bama, you got to go to Clemson, you have to go to these schools and prove why you belonged in the playoff.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. So they've got to get this right. Ultimately, I still hope this idea dies where it started.
You sound all excited. Then you said you wanted to. Come on, man.
Right. But I'm telling you, but if
I hope it dies, though.
Right. But if they're gonna do it, I'm with B. Let's just see chaos. If they're gonna go through this, there's nothing we can do about it. I want absolute bedlam. I want to. We are good. We should be living in the upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, this
And
will
we're
be
excited
it.
to do that. Yeah. So
This will be it. I know. I think AL.com. I think they mentioned that I think you have to have like 75% of the teams in the conference buy in to this, or be okay with this. I think. It'll just be interesting to see how this plays out in the coming weeks, maybe months even. But this has been the major story of the day. When we're hearing a lot of you guys having a whole conversation in the comments, giving your opinion. Some people hate it. Some people hate the proposed realignment. People want Auburn to stay in the West. We hear you. I just don't see how that happens. Should this come to fruition? But nevertheless, guys, stay tuned. But what we want you guys to know, most importantly, is you are watching the Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you in partnership with auburnsports.com. Guys, please be sure to check them out for all of your info regarding recruiting and other news surrounding Auburn athletics. And also, guys, if you haven't already, smash the like button. Please be sure to do that. And share this video if you're on social media. Please use hashtag #GetYourWeight We got some announcements coming. Mike G, what we got, bro?
Hey, listen, as Caesar already mentioned, this Wednesday Night War Room is brought to you by auburnsports.com. We have formed a partnership with them to bring you guys even better content, and especially around recruiting. So next Wednesday, the man, the myth, the legend, J.G. Tate will be joining us to talk about what's happening at SEC Media Days. I believe Harsin goes tomorrow, guys. So we're going to have some things to talk about. Some interesting things got said at Media Days already, even though we haven't gone, but related to Auburn. And we're going to talk to J.G. Tate about it. So, we partner with auburnsports.com. They sponsor this segment now. They're going to be helping us bring you guys more focused information, especially around recruiting. A lot of you guys have asked us to cover recruiting, and we definitely want to do that. But, I have a high respect for the job that they do, digging up info and finding out what's going on with these 17 and 18-year-olds trying to make decisions. So we don't pretend to be experts, but we are friends with the experts. So we're going to bring them on to talk about it with you guys. We are officially partnered with the Lee County Humane Society. This is the good that we've chosen to put back into the world. So I appreciate everybody who has gone to our GoFundMe to donate. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. 50 cents on every dollar helps the Lee County Humane Society in their mission to find the dogs, rescue strays like Albie and Milo good homes. Mine was, I adopted Albie at 6 months. She was a stray. The caring stranger brought her in to the Maricopa County shelter out in Phoenix, and I was fortunate enough to find her and bring her home. So we want to put this good back into the world. Thank you to everybody who's going out to do that. Our merch store is live. You can find this link in the About section of our YouTube channel. We have some fly gear there. Thanks to everybody who has been posting the pictures of their Watch the Film t-shirts. Those are hot. I have one. Caesar has one. Ike has one. Brian thinks about it. You guys should definitely go get
my
that.
gear custom made on my own shirts that I like to fit. Don't try to play me on the live.
I'm just saying. So, becoming an insider. This is, if you guys don't know, becoming an insider is going to mean a whole lot to you during the season. I am so excited about the community that we formed here. It is a Wednesday in July. We got 250 people on this live, just talking Auburn football. This is something that we have consistently done since August of last year. We have come to you guys twice a week since August. So there's no off season at the War Rapport. So when we're in season, it's definitely going to be live. You want to join us. We have Betting with B Will. We've got, for the record, we've got our game day experience, which will be exclusive to insiders. So we'll come at you guys pregame, halftime, and postgame, and then you will get a Sunday recap and a Monday film review where we will break down the tape from every game, and it's going to be amazing. So become an insider supporter so you can get access to some of that content. I mentioned being an insider. If you are an insider, you do get 3 entries into a drawing for 2 tickets to the Akron game. As well as supporters get 2 entries in. And then if you've been doing all the little things we've been asking you to do every week, there are extra opportunities that if you are a member of our channel, at the very least, you get an entry. So you get entered by your YouTube handle. So you have to be a member of our channel. If you're watching this and you have not hit subscribe, now's a great time to do that, to make sure that you have a chance to win tickets to the Akron game. They're great seats. I'm very happy that we were able to do that for you guys. Last but certainly not least, hashtag get your weight up in the comment section to have a chance to win a War Rapport mug at the hour mark. You guys know how this goes. Check your spelling, make sure it's right. We got a lot of entries tonight. We got 70 entries right now, so I'm looking to get up to at least half of everybody who's watching in on this, and we'll give away that mug at the hour mark.
Wesley wants to congratulate us on our NIL deal. We appreciate that, buddy. Love it. We also had a good question, which we might need to look into. This could come down the pipeline. But we were asked about, what about War Rapport flags?
Yo, that's
for tailgating.
Whoa,
Don't know why we never thought about that. But shout out to you. Is it? Help me, guys. 8 eats.
Oh yeah, 8 eats.
Yeah, 87.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So great idea. Great idea. So yeah, we will. I saw that and I was like, yeah, we definitely got to.
If Ike's listening, he's probably on that already.
Yeah, he probably already has it halfway printed out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we also had a question before we get into the second part. We were asked by Mike McKinney, how do you guys think Harsin handles media days? Mike,
like a robot. I mean, no bulletin board, nothing. Get up there. I mean, he took Owen Pappo and Bo Nix with him, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
So I think that he's going to go out there and he's going to set an example for the type of team he wants to have. I believe this team will reflect Harsin's complete mantra on everything. So, what is that? It's what he's going to show tomorrow at media days. I think that he'll avoid the gotcha questions and just really focus on, 1-0. That's what I think we get from Harsin. 1-0. Win practice, right? Win fall camp, win the first game, and then just keep winning after that. So I'm sure they'll try to trip him up on some Bama questions and a bunch of stuff. But, this guy, he's just no nonsense. I think that they'll find that out. And, I think that he'll want to show his team the type of leader he is. So the young men that are following him, you get up there in front on the podium in front of the rest of the conference and the country. And he's going to set the stage. He's going to set an example for the type of behavior he expects his guys to emulate day to day.
Yeah.
Go up there, handle your business, come back, get back to work. So no bulletin board material. These NIL deals, man, I'm telling you, Harsin is not, he's not going to put up with anything that might even look like a distraction from NIL. You will find your behind riding the pine under this coach.
Okay, I see you, rapper Mike G.
Right? If
poetry,
your behind will ride the pine if you bring any of that mess into the locker room. I saw a thing about I think it was Saban said that he was asked a question at media days about Bryce Brown, and they said that he's going to make $1 million, in endorsements. This quarterback who has not started a game for Alabama is going to make $1 million in endorsements. He signed some deal. I mean, it was Alabama, so I didn't read too far into it. I just saw the statement from Saban. Wow. It does change the game. But you know what? That endorsement is going to be worth if he gets benched. Because if you are not the starting quarterback at Alabama, I'm sure that the companies who are giving this money have put protections in for themselves. if you bring bad press, or if you become nobody, or if you transfer.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the details in some of these contracts. So coaches are getting asked about this stuff at media days. Now, I haven't seen anything that big coming from any of our players.
No, right.
No, for sure.
Right. But I think that a part of that is Harsin, man. You got to go out. You have to earn that.
Right.
Now, Alabama has maybe earned that, but has Bryce Brown earned it? No.
Bryce Young. You keep saying Bryce Brown.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bryce Young. Bryce Brown he played for us at basketball. Yeah, you can tell I don't care about Alabama. So, like, has he earned that? No, he's not earned that. So, again, you're going to see all business from Harsin tomorrow, and I don't think he shows much personality tomorrow. I think he just goes up there and stonewalls.
So. Yeah.
B,
what about you, bro? What you think?
He's gonna, like Mike said, he is a no nonsense dude, and he realizes that he has proved nothing yet. And I don't think he came here to prove nothing. I think he will be maybe not more time for a season. And Harsin has shown that he is a coach that belongs on the stage. Until then, it's speculation. It's going to be, hey, you saw what Saban did? Hey, his players are getting this money. And hey, how do you expect to compete and all that? And none of what's going on down here is Harsin's doing. So he's not really going to have any relevant answers for that.
Right.
Everything's going to be about the biggest team, the biggest program in the conference. And that has been Alabama definitively. So you have to expect, he has to know these questions are coming. He's going to hear the school up north jokes, and he's going to be asked about what Tony Fair said on the Instagram Live or whatever it was. And he's going to be like, well, I'm going to tell my guys that they've got to go out and earn the right to talk like this or something like that, because that's what hard-nosed coaches do. So I don't think it's going to be anything noteworthy, honestly. I haven't been able to catch the SEC media days, and I'm going to try to catch Harsin, but if I don't, I bet I could script for you right now exactly what he's going to say for most of the questions and get it like 75% right. I don't expect it to be any bulletin board material for other teams. I don't expect it to be enlightening as far as NIL or anything like that. It's going to be standard football coach stuff, and I like that until he has proven anything on the big stage. Before then, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think probably anything that's coming out of tomorrow will actually come from the players. I expect there'll be something, not necessarily bulletin board material, but I think either Bo Nix or Papo actually have the more interesting comments. I think Harsin is going to be, as he's been all up to this point, hard-nosed. He's going to talk ball, 1-0, getting better, development, those types of things, right? And yeah, I think he handles himself well tomorrow. Again, he's a professional, man. This man has been coaching for years. He's been around some of the great minds. He knows how this goes. Granted, he's in the SEC for the first time, but he's a professional, and I think he hasn't shown us that he's going to leave all the other stuff, the bulletin board, to the Kiffins, the Leaches, the other coaches in our conference who will gladly deliver that for the media. So I think Harsin's going to fly under the radar and get in and get out of there. So let's talk about what we opened up with. Let's talk about the recent verbal commitment. Jay Fair, 3-star wide receiver, commits to Auburn. He's a speedster. Here's some of his information. 5'11", 180 pounds, according to Rivals or auburnsports.com. He's a number 83 receiver, and he's the 86th overall recruit in the state of Texas. And in his junior year, he had 73 catches for 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. He commits to Auburn over TCU and Florida, and he actually has a cousin already on this team in Daniel Foster Allen, who's a defensive lineman. So him coming from Texas, he already has family here that has to help and assist as he gets acclimated to Auburn, should his commitment sticks and he signs his letter of intent. But Jay Fair is Auburn's latest commitment. Now, I had an opportunity to watch some film on this kid. He can take the top off of a defense. Speedster. He was a 2-sport athlete in high school. He ran track. So that should give you an idea of how fast this kid is. And on his highlights, we see him basically, again, he ran some kick returns back. So he could be an option in special teams. And the kid is pretty good out in space. So he's bought into what Bobo, Coach Korn, and Harsin is selling, and he intends to be a Tiger. So talk to me, B. Will. I don't know if you had a chance to check this guy out or see any film on him. What do you make of this addition, given the youth we have in quarterback? What does this kid bring to Auburn, and what makes you excited about him, if at all? Can't hear you, B. I think you went out for me.
Went out there.
Go ahead, Mike G.
Okay, so I'll talk about it for a second. Listen, this is very Harsin. This is a Harsin type of pickup. A guy who has a ton of potential, 3-star. Now in the state of Texas, right? Being number 83, where they have so much high school football. It may sound low down the list, but this is what it comes back to: is how much do we trust how this staff is evaluating the talent that they're planning to bring in. We have not earned the right. I don't want anybody to freak out and think, oh, this guy's only a 3-star. He's only recruiting 3 stars. If he's got to get the ball rolling this season. And some of these guys that are coming in, and once he starts showing what he's doing with the talent that he gets, the 4 and 5s will start rolling in. But don't make no mistake, right? One man's 3-star is another man's 5-star, because somebody always misses on some guy like Jay Fair, and then he turns into the next 5-star receiver,
right?
And we can't figure out why he was a 3-star to begin with,
right? So
watch out for this kid. I watched some of his highlights, and he reminds me of a lot of the receivers we already have that are extremely talented,
right?
They just need work, they need guidance, and they need coaching. I heard somebody say Jordan Bowens here says next Tyreek Hill. Agree. He's got that kind of talent. And if we can scheme a way to get guys like this the ball in space and let them just use their athleticism, I think we have failed miserably at that over the last 8 years. Getting skill positions consistently, the ball in space, to just let their athletic ability take over. Juke a guy, outrun a guy.
Yeah.
That's what I hope this system takes kids like Jay Fair and gets them the ball in space and let this be the next 3-star that is a 1st or 2nd round pick. Receivers have to come back at Auburn, man. Like, when I think about the receivers that we've had over the last 20 years, and I'll go way back, but when I think about the Ben Obamanus and the Devin Aromashadus and the Anthony Mixes and the Courtney Taylors, guys who, if they played in this day and age, would have left Auburn with records.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We need to get back to getting those kind of guys in here. And we, even though we were run first because that was Tuberville's brand of football, and we had, in his defense, we had some really good running backs, over that stretch.
Yeah.
The class of 03, I think, to 06 was the winningest class in Auburn football history. We had some really, really good players during that stretch. Harsin's got to be able to harness that type of thing again, where we are developing kids, because that's what Tuberville did. He took a lot of 2-stars and turned them into draft picks.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he had coaches who knew what they were doing. Now, let me tell you, I'll tell this story real quick. The first practice, Auburn football practice I ever filmed, they put me on defensive backs, and it was what we call DB fundies, DB fundamentals. They're just backpedaling and flipping their hips and doing stuff, right, to get loose. And Coach Gene Chizik, who was our defensive coordinator at the time, was coaching them. Now, I remember listening to him coach, and I wanted to put my camera down and try out for the football team. One of the most inspirational guys you will ever hear in practice. It was incredible. I was like, wow, just listening to him coach his guys on just small things.
Yeah.
I can't repeat it the way that he said it, but I remember sitting there and just questioning my whole direction of life. Maybe I should be trying to be a defensive back at Auburn. He was so good. And with a lot of guys who were little known coming out of high school that ended up being really, really good players for Auburn. What if Jay Fair, under this type of coaching, is that kind of kid? Where we can just say, hey, listen, when we can stop worrying about stars because we trust the guys developing and picking them.
Right.
Now, I know we've almost got him all the way out of our system. Once the season starts, he will be all the way out. But Gus, we couldn't trust Gus. He needed the stars. He needed every star he could get, because we could not trust his system to develop these kids, especially offensively. That's the one thing that we hope Harsin can turn around. We're not talking about. It doesn't matter where we land if we're 15th in recruiting. Our staff knows how to pick the right guys. And then hopefully beyond that, they're going to out-scheme you every Saturday too. So when Brian says Saban is not the best X's and O's coach, while he may not be, you still need a coach who knows X's and O's better than him. Because we know he's got the 5-star talent.
Right.
So if you're not going to go out and 5-star for 5-star, you need to be able to develop better and scheme better. So that when you bring in a Jay Fair, he gets his opportunity to actually use his talent to help the team win.
Right.
And we don't end up with another Anthony Schwartz,
who still found his way to the NFL.
All the talent
all
in
of
the
that.
world, but probably one of the most underutilized players in Auburn football history.
Yeah.
So when I watch Jay Fair's tape, that's the feeling that I get. Man, I hope the coaches know what to do with him.
And my thing is, and we're having a conversation in the comment section about we still need, a 5-star here. Listen, if you do what Mike G is talking about, develop and scheme better, you can bring in those kids. The reason why year one is what it is because of the dead period in COVID and these coaches coming in on the tail end, not being able to get to some of these 4 and 5-star, but there's going to be some 4-stars committing very soon, hopefully to Auburn. So stay tuned on that. But I just think if you're able to show and prove, we had Josh Pate on and he says, listen, if you could put a competent product on the field, you can show kids, hey, here's what we're doing. Look at how much better we've made guys on this team. Look at how much better Bo is. Look at how much better these guys are. Look at how much better we've made these guys in year one. You can think about what we can do with 3 years of you.
Right. Yeah. We know what we want to do. We just need you to do it.
Right.
That's the pitch to recruits.
The stars will take care of themselves if you do the other 2 right.
I'm telling you, I am telling you with beyond a shadow of a doubt, if he can let Harsin mess around and beat Penn State convincingly on the road and watch the stars start to rain in.
Yep. Right.
Let him go primetime national television, premier non-conference opponent, and whoop some ass on the road.
Yeah.
And this whole star conversation will get put to bed. And then let him start SEC play, beating either LSU or Georgia. You don't even have to win them both.
Or just giving them hell. Just giving them a really hard time as opposed to laying down like we have been in past years.
Go to Death Valley and get a win for the first time in 20 years. I'm sick of getting beat by them with all this top 10 talent.
Right.
Not one time in 20 years have we gone into Death Valley and got a win. We are Auburn University. Take a guy like Jay Fair and go get the win.
Yeah.
You know, and this guy isn't here till next year, man. You know what? Take Malcolm Johnson Jr. Take JJ. Take Capers. Take these guys and go get the win. Finally, please. I'm pleading with you. I'm tired of being here as a fan.
Yeah.
We have the resources. We got the money. We got the coaches, hopefully now. And we've had the players.
For years.
Put it all together. Because you know what's coming is a 12-team playoff. And if we can't make a damn 12-team playoff with top 10 recruiting classes, I don't know what to say about that. Throw the whole staff out. It is ridiculous. So we're sitting here, we're having conversation about Jay Fair, right? Coming full circle. And I'm thinking, I want to be excited about this kid. But I'm disillusioned by 8 years of misevaluation and underutilization.
Yeah.
And underachievement.
Poor roster management.
And I don't care what you say. We underachieved under the last. We got 2 decent seasons out of 8. Both ended in consolation prizes. And one in an absolute embarrassment. The hell with that. And that's what I hope Harsin shows us at Media Days tomorrow. Business. We're here to handle our business, and we're here to give you the work. Come get it. People have to be scared to play Auburn at Auburn.
Yeah. This
joke with Bama is getting old. Yeah, we beat them every once in a while. But what did that amount to? It didn't amount. Nobody actually believed after we won that we were better than Bama.
Right.
In 2019, we went out there and we went in our house and we pulled off the win. Who believed that we were the better team? Spoiler alert, we were not. We have to start to believe that we're the better team, man. And then it's not just some fluke or luck, or we don't need a kick six, or prayer Jordan Hare to beat our top rivals.
Yeah.
That's why Gus got all that money in 2017, because they thought that was the start of that.
Right.
At the end of that season, we beat both those teams convincingly.
Yeah.
And we were so starved for that kind of production that everybody just said, here's $50 million, Gus. And then he went right back to his office and sat on a whoopee cushion. Because the whole thing was a joke. No more jokes, man. No more jokes. No more games. Game face on, and let's go get this thing. And start showing kids like Jay Fair why Auburn is a good decision. I hope we can show the kids we have now why staying was a good decision.
Right.
Do the right thing by these kids. You're making millions of dollars to do just that. And I'm not asking for a championship every year. But I think now with a 12-team playoff coming, asking for us to be in the conversation for a 12-team playoff, it should not be out of the question. every year in a 12-team playoff, Auburn should be in the conversation, if not making it. Every single year.
Hey, Brian.
So yeah, I really like Jay Fair. I think he's going to do well here.
Brian, what do you think about Jay Fair?
I like the pickup. I don't even know what to say after that. I mean, shoot, you know. But no, I think more to Mike's point, it doesn't matter. The star rating matters very, very little to me. Very little to me.
Yeah.
We know that everybody else we play, Georgia and Bama, are going to have 5 stars out the wazoo, 5s and 4s. And if they have a 3, it's because they wanted that 3 and they scouted that 3 in a way that the services didn't scout them, but they know something that the services don't.
Right.
Oops.
Yeah.
He's doing all right. Last I checked. So what's important to me is that they're getting the guy that they know they want. That they're getting the guy that they know has the skill set that they're looking for. The difference between high 3s and 5s is if he was 3 inches taller and 10 pounds heavier. And to me, listen, you're 5'11", great. You don't have to be 6'2", 6'3" to be effective. I get it. You want the guy that can high point and can stop on a dime. And listen, but you don't have to be that to be an elite production player in the SEC. You have to have athleticism for sure. You have to be a hard worker, but the coaches have to have something to give you to flex. With all the recruiting news, every time we get some recruiting news, I'm just looking back like, you know what? I'm going to trust the coaches. I couldn't trust the last ones. Our administration saw that we couldn't trust the last coaching staff's offensive recruitment and development. So I am hoping and thinking that you guys fix that with this pick. By the staff that you have assembled, that problem has been solved. And we're going on faith a little bit because we haven't seen anything different. There's been no time to judge that yet. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that part of the program is fixed and that no matter what the star rating is on these guys when they commit, and I'm still not too concerned with committing because sign on the dotted line, then we'll get excited.
Right.
But trusting that they know how to identify talent for your system, and that they have a method for developing these guys into NFL caliber players. So I am assuming that for every recruitment that we get, I am assuming that they knew what they were doing. And we will really know, I guess, about 2024. Once this first class that they handpicked, is hitting their junior season, that's when we'll know who they are and how good they did and how well we fixed the problem that we used to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed. We agree with all that.
Good points, gentlemen. Good points, gentlemen. Listen, we just had church tonight and we were supposed to give away a mug 13 minutes ago, but y'all know how that went. So let's get to it. Mike G, you got to pull it up, sir. And by the way, make sure you drop Get Your Weight Up, hashtag Get Your Weight Up in the comments if you haven't already. Please be sure to do that so that you can enter the win. We got 79 entries, but we got 270 people watching live. What is happening?
Oh my goodness. Listen, I promise it's a quality mug. I was not on Sunday's broadcast, but I was attending. I was definitely attending. I heard Ike say, he felt very disheartened that y'all didn't want his mug. So need a couple more entries here. You have to
83, 87. I see you.
Oh man, we are popping
I see you. Can we get 90? 87, can I get 90?
Can we get the 100? Have we ever had 100 people enter this draw?
I'm going to go with a safe no.
No, I don't think we've ever had 100 people.
Okay, we got 90. Can I get 95?
10 more people to get in this exciting drawing. Congratulations to Gabrielle Cavalier. She won. She won just recently. I'll root for you guys all to win when we do these. So, and then we had Nino Brown. Nino, if you're watching, if you missed this, Nino won twice. We drew twice and Nino won twice.
which is crazy.
Which was not here. Yeah, this random picker picked Nino twice. So shout out to 97. I just need 3 more people to do this thing, man, so we can get this going.
98.
I love the engagement here. We have the best
98,
community.
99. We almost there.
Boom. I'm gonna hit draw at 100. I'm gonna hit draw at 100.
Oh,
there it is.
There
Boom.
we go.
Let's roll it. Let's roll it. Who's it gonna be tonight? Who's it gonna be tonight? It's gonna be
Bob Edwards.
Oh, Bob, are you here, brother?
Please, we'll wait
Bob.
for it. We'll wait for it. It's a bit of a delay, so let us know you're here.
Yeah, Bob, let us know you're here. Claim that mug. Love Bob. Bob's one of our OGs. He's been with us for quite some time. Bob, are you here? You got to comment, Bob. Please don't make me do it, Bob.
Bob, come on,
Don't
Bob.
make me do it, Bob. Don't make me redraw.
Bob.
There he is.
There he goes. We had to wait for it.
All right. Listen, Bob, he reaches out to us quite a bit, but email us your address, business@thewarreport.com. That's business@thewarreport.com. We want to be able to get that out to you. So if you send it right there at the bottom of the screen, we'll make sure we get that mug out to you ASAP. I can't wait until we do the draw, or until we giving away tickets is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Agreed.
I'm glad to be able to do that. For real.
And as a stipulation for giving away these tickets, we need some pictures of you guys at the game enjoying.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So I love being able to give back to the community that supports us. We've got so many people in here on Wednesday night, and the season is going to be exciting, fellas. Every one of these brings us 1 week closer to the start of the season. So that being said, if you are not an insider, become one. You will enjoy it thoroughly during the season. $5.99 a month will get you that membership, which will get you game day access. It will get you film reviews. It will get you comment privileges during our game day experience. For the record, betting with B Will. We have so much that's going to be exclusive to insiders. So join up. The money that you guys pay actually helps us to continue to grow our content and bring you guys even more during the season. You can also support us by going to the About section of our YouTube channel, clicking on that donate link, and donating to our GoFundMe. We are partnered with the Lee County Humane Society to help save animals. 50 cents on every dollar goes to them. The other 50 goes to us. And it helps us grow our platform so we can continue to support them. They are a great partner of ours. Our merch store is live. You can get your weight up gear there as well. And as mentioned, if you are an insider or supporter, you get automatic entries into a raffle for 2 tickets to the Akron game. So we're giving away 2 tickets to the first home game of the season, guys. The dawn of the Brian Harsin era. You could go watch it live for free on the War Rapport. And we would love to do that for some lucky YouTube subscriber. So become a member or watch out the next couple weeks. We have a couple more ways for you to get entered into that drawing if you are not a member. We appreciate everybody who supports our content, no matter how you support it, whether it is just being a regular subscriber, being an insider or supporter, donating to the GoFundMe, buying merch. We appreciate it all. But the best thing that you can always do is watch, hit like, and subscribe.
Absolutely. Well, you already took the words out of my mouth, but we want to shout out William Pucci, who just became an insider tonight before the show started. Welcome to the War Rapport family. Joseph Ballard, loving his shirt. If you haven't already, man, post with it, take a picture, post with it on social media, at us, tag us, use hashtag get your weight up. We'd love to see it, man. We love it when people out there rocking War Rapport merch. And guys, we want to thank you again for tuning in to the latest and greatest Wednesday Night War Room, brought to you in partnership with auburnsports.com. Please be sure, guys, to check them out for your source of information regarding recruiting and other information surrounding Auburn athletics. And as Mike G said, please be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the War Rapport. We are TW Rapport on Twitter. Please be sure to share this video using hashtag Get Your Weight Up as well. That's it for now, but there's more to come. But until then, and as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.